Hey friends, what's good? Welcome to Storytime. So today, this is the third time I've tried to make this video because the dogs have barked at some cat or something outside. Anyways, I'm going to try one more time. So I figured out my volume. I have a little tiny button here, and apparently I've hit it off a few times when I'm in the middle of recording because I put it somewhere and then it hits off. Anyway, hopefully I got it right today and I can do this correctly. But I have a story today about my mom. I talked a little bit about my dad. I want to talk a bit about my mom and how resilient my mother has been over the years. Um, when we moved from the city, we had to move fairly quickly from the city. My dad was a transit driver, BC Transit, and his bus got shot at. So I think within like a month, we moved from the city to up into the North Country. When we moved, I don't think anybody was thinking straight because we were actually moving in the middle of November back in 1979, I think it was. And we were going up north. And one thing we did not expect to do was hit snowstorms and cold temperatures. We were just used to wet. You know, we had gum boots and rain gear. And when we got up into the city we were moving to, we had no clothing, no winter clothing at all. We were not prepared. And not only we weren't prepared with clothing, we weren't prepared to see what we had just purchased. My dad had just bought. It was kind of a sight unseen, buying this unit, buying this trailer, and driving up and then living in it. That's what we did. So we got there and the place was already old, probably in its like 30, 35, 40 years old. And it was a double wide trailer. And it was on a beautiful piece of property overlooking a lake, a huge lake, like a 75-kilometer lake, just massive. And my mom and dad immediately, I think, realized what have we done? Like what what have we got ourselves into? It was wood heat or baseboard heat or propane heat. I can't remember. We had a bunch of different heating systems, but the house was it was lived in by things that weren't human. So we literally got there and there was squirrels or pack rats, there was mice, there was all sorts of stuff we had to contend with. But we took care of it. We made sure that everything was taken care of and we moved in and our water was frozen and so we had to go get water from the creek. But one thing I remember about my mom and how resilient she was that we came from the city and stuff, and so we had regular stove, fridge, that kind of stuff, but we had a wood stove and my mom could cook an entire Christmas dinner on a wood stove. After about the first year, this woman was able to make fresh buns on the top, and then the turkey would be on the back, and it, she'd have a pie ready to go. So once that was taken off of there, the food was amazing. For somebody who had never lived like this and had a wood stove as her cook stove, she did such an incredible job. I mean, we'd make fresh soup on top of that wood stove and she'd put dumplings in it. And we had such an incredibly rich diet back then. Like we ate some really good food. My brother and my dad were hunters, so we ate a lot of moose and deer. And my first animal that I actually killed was a rabbit. And then I was a grouse hunter, and that's what we ate back then. And it was an amazing way to live, and I love it. But to know that my mom went from like a city woman right into country living, and I remember melting snow for our water sometimes if we didn't have any way to get into the creek. So mom and I would go down with the wagon or the sled and we'd fill up water or even snow in the front yard, just fill it up and then melt it on the stove. It was just a really exciting and interesting way to live. And when I think back to it now, my parents were tough, man. They were tough. We went through some -50-degree weather with wind chills of 90 degrees below, like just cold. That's Celsius. And being in Canada, people joke about it, but yeah, you got to be tough in some areas of Canada to get by and get through the winters, especially when your water freezes or you run out of wood. I remember getting wood every weekend with my dad. We'd get in the little truck, we'd have our thermos and our lunch, and we'd go out and we'd just get as much wood as we could, load it in the back of the truck, get home, chop it. And my mom, she would go to work during the day because she worked at a pharmacy. So my parents, I have got to commend my parents for being so great at something that they had no idea they were great at. And we lived a long time there in that one little house, and I absolutely cherish those memories. My dad's passed since 2018. Mom's still here, and I like to remind her, how tough she was during the days when, life can be tough nowadays, but no, nothing like how it was when we were growing up. And I'm just so grateful that I had such a tough mom and a great parents and a great brother. Anyways, I just wanted to talk about that right now because I didn't want my mom to feel left out. Anyway, I hope you guys have a fantastic day. And God bless you. And I hope the audio worked because when I load these, they sound good. And then I get to the actual premiere and, nah. So, anyway, God bless. See you later.